Welcome back to my channel, Star Bunnies, and today we're going back to my roots, going to Oaxaca. Fuimos a San Miguel Talotepec.
You have arrived at your destination.
Our first day was here at this location.
This is called the Laguna Encantada, and supposedly it was on top of that mountain, and somehow the water came through the mountain and landed on this lake. There's been a few divers that try to find the bottom of this lagoon, and supposedly most of them have perished because they never came up. Either they got tangled up underneath those tree roots, or whatever happened to them, but they did not recover bodies either. I've been going to went to this lagoon when I guess I was like 8 years old through 10, 12, and I swam once across.
The Laguna Encantada is open to the public, where you can come swim and stay at the park. But that week that we had gone, my uncle told me that someone had recently passed away there too. We just stayed there for a bit and explored and played on the playground, and then we left to our next stop.
It's called San Sebastian. They make a great fair. It sells everything, food, horses, whatever you need, it's there.
On my trip, we didn't get to go to San Sebastian. We went to Oaxaca, which is a place that my grandpa always wanted us to go visit with him, but unfortunately we never got the chance, so this trip meant a lot to me.
This is the church of my town. As you can see, the tower on the left side hand. You could go up there to that one window up. I was on about 3 stories high. I used to ring that bell right there. They celebrate the 29th of September because it's the patron, because these people are very Catholic.
This is the Iglesia de San Miguel that correlates to the name of the town. People were already celebrating when we arrived, and the inside of the church was beautifully decorated for their saint. After the church, we headed down to where they were having another event, passing the cemetery on the way. We went to go see the bull riding event, and I couldn't stop looking around because the sky was beautiful. The clouds were amazing, and the moon was already out, and the sun was setting. It just looked cool. After this, I think we then walked back up to the church because they were starting the first event of the night, which is like they were passing off these torches and bringing in runners. The marathon runners passed torches, and these were the two that carried up the torches to the top to put them in a cauldron to signify the start of the festival.
This dance represents where the locals were fighting off the Spaniards, and that's why they dressed like that. And as you can see later on, they're gonna show different characters with different dresses. Like these are the moros right there. These kids are the moros that the Spanish that came to conquer our town.
This dance had several acts that they did, or scenes that they acted out, and it took quite a while for them to finish telling the story. The following day, we did more exploring around town, and my uncle said that he could take us to like a calavera rio or something, but he said that there were mosquitoes that go underneath your skin or some type of bug, and I said no thank you, so I just stayed around the normal place. As we walked through the little town to go back to the church, we passed by the old lavaderos and we walked down some streets that were really cool. At the front of the church, they had different dances going on that were celebrating different things. Esa es la danza de los diablos de Oaxaca, and it represents scaring away bad spirits. The dancers wear a wooden devil mask and chaps made out of goat skin and fur. The dance represents how culture can survive colonization.
These are the famous like bowls. As you can see, surrounding them, they light them up and they're full of fireworks.
They also had a torre that was also strapped full of fireworks. So people are dancing with the bowls and you can take turns switching in and out, but you have to be careful because the stuff does fall on you and it also jumps all around while you're viewing it in the crowd. And that right there is my cousin who's dancing with a bull. I was so amazed at how she was not scared of dancing with it. She's way more experienced because this was my first time ever watching this in real life. So as I said before, anyone can go up and pass the bowl, and the fireworks are not timed to stop. It's just like you gotta go when they're off and then switch off. There are a lot of people just watching, but off to the other side and previous clips that I put right now, people are dancing and you can just have a party and have a good time. Also, sorry for the choppy music. I just don't want to get copyright because I got copyright before.
After the bulls, all this is the last event, which is the main event. The whole structure is filled with the fireworks, you can see, and so it's gonna start at the bottom. Everything's just gonna blow up. These couple right here, that will be the 4th generation that I am. My great-grandpa Fidencio and great-grandma Adelaida. And this is the cemetery where both of them were laid. When Grandma Adelaida was buried, the custom to bury their own in the same grave. When they were digging, they found great grandma's mama's body was still intact. She still had her hair on, even her skin was, well, you could tell that she was almost mummified.
She passed away during childbirth while giving birth to my great-great-grandma's brother. So when they buried her with her mom, that's why she was so preserved when she was young. Learning about my history is very important to me, and it's fun to learn where I come from because I don't know much since I grew up here in the United States. This was the last day of the festival, and they just did a walkthrough through the little plaza where we were having tacos and my uncle's taco stand. Okay, so final thing, since this was our last night here, I want to talk about some little creepy things that happened. Okay, so first of all, there was a guy walking around with a gun, and I was very scared, but I think he was just drunk and doing his own thing. And then my uncle told us the following day that so a little family came to eat tacos at his taco stand, and then they got into an accident and they all passed away on the road where we were driving to go to the other little town. And then I was just scared the entire time after that. This was our last morning in San Miguel, where we just said goodbye to my tío, and we got all our things ready to go on the long journey all the way back to Oaxaca City. So this ride took about 6 hours or so, and we passed by this mountain that had the lover's heart, and I don't really know the story about that. But once we finally arrived to Oaxaca, I kid you not, I dreamt about this place. I full on saw it in my dream. But we got to Oaxaca, we stayed indoors for that night because I think we got there in the afternoon. But then the following day, we got to go and explore the city, which was full of art, which I really loved. We went to the plaza, which is the center of the city, and they have a lot of artesanias, which is like arts and crafts and things like that. And I really wanted to buy like everything, but I had to limit myself because I only brought another small bag to have on my carry-on. And on one of the days, we also went to a Japanese restaurant, and we had to check out what the ramen was like. But they had a beautiful indoor little garden, and I like most of the restaurants have like an indoor garden place to sit at. And we also went to some museums, and I really love looking at the huipil and other artifacts and just pictures of people that are from Oaxaca, and like it's just interesting. I love it all. This is one of my favorite photos that I saw at the museum, so I will cherish this photo forever. Here's a little haul of all the things that I got, and I love that everything is hand embroidered. Then it was time to go on the taxis at nighttime to head off to our Volaris trip, which was kind of weird. But anyways, we made it home, and I really loved going to Oaxaca, so I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Bye!